And hello, this is Jim Miller, and this is Unlocking Personal Leadership Live. We're live on live. I get to say my radio voice. We're live on Facebook and YouTube right now. And I'm had a really busy day. It was a great day, and wanted to tell you that I've been working on my book. If you caught my show last night, you'll see that I talked about my book, and today I worked on it some more. I got down 7 pages, and I've written a little over 3,100 words so far. So it feels good. I'm making progress. And you know what? The research is the best part. Going through this and looking back and thinking about all the stuff that a 66-year-old has done in his life. It's really cool. I've made some notes of things, but I just wanted to kind of convey what this show is about. And I should pull it up on Facebook here so I can see if anybody's chiming in and seeing it. Yeah, we are. Not yet. So let's see. I got to do a refresh. See if I'm there. There we go. I'm up. So this show is all about unlocking personal leadership, and we're doing it live so that I can do this on multiple social media platforms. That's the word. And if you happen to see me while I'm doing this, say hello. Pop on, write me a note in the comments, or like it or love it or hate it, whatever you want to do. Just anything to say hello. Thank you. I'm lonely out here. Not really. And that this show's about unlocking leadership. And my goal is to help me and you to get better. I've got five shifts that I'm calling 5 shifts that I've been fortunate enough to be able to make, and am making now, that are enabling me to live a really cool life. So I want to share those with you. The first shift is the becoming shift, and that's living healthy and living long. So we're going to talk a lot about that on this show, and then we're going to talk about longevity. And that's living healthy and living long. Becoming is creating and growing and living your best life. So becoming your best you. That's really what we're talking about there. And then the third one is audience. You want to attract and serve your tribe. Attract and serve your tribe. And doing that, you talked to me about doing that a year ago, I'd have said, no way, not doing it. But I've been through so many amazing transformations with the coaches and people that I'm hanging around with now, that are giving me encouragement and teaching me things and smacking me around. So it's all good and loving it. So it's becoming, it's longevity, it's building an audience, it's creating generational wealth through passive and residual income. That's another one that we're going to talk about a lot. And then the fifth one, and I think probably the most important one of all, certainly the most rewarding for me, is the community service one. I hadn't done any of that until the last couple of years, and boy, I tell you what, that's amazing. Just calling up, going into your local, Google maybe a nonprofit near me. Just put that in your Google, see what pops up, and then see what looks interesting. See where you can call them up and ask them, do you need any help? Can I help volunteer? And I'll bet they say, well, yeah, come on down. And I don't know, you may need to get some background checks. I did when I went up to the plateau, but it's painless. Just get that done. And then you get a little badge, and they take your picture, and and then you can go up and help out. And for me, the plateau has been a tremendous reward. I get to help out when they're, raising money to bring inner city kids up to the wilderness area so they can see critters in their natural environment, hear the birds chirping, see the foxes and the coyotes and maybe a mountain lion in the wild. And whoa, what a thrill. That's such an amazing thing to be able to do. And so I encourage you, definitely take the bull by the horns and spend an hour, maybe 2 a week volunteering, doing something, and it'll compress down, and all that effort that you do will come back to you in so many wonderful ways. So do that. Suggest it. And I'd love to hear about your stories here. Hop on the show and you can talk about your experiences doing that. Love to have you on to do that. So when I'm researching for my book, I was looking back at all the things that I've done from when I was a kid, and I made a really long list. I was trying to pick, like the top ones. I've been a competitive swimmer, and up through high school, I swam mostly freestyle. I was good at the breaststroke and also good at butterfly. I was one of the better ones at butterfly, and that's a tough one to do. I played baseball, competitive baseball, hardball. Loved playing that. I started in Little League in Lafayette, California. I played Lafayette Little League, and for a small period of time, I had the best batting average in the league. And that was a thrill. My dad would come watch the games, and I remember some of the kids, their dads would be out there, mixing it up. It was a crazy time, but my dad was cool. But so competitive baseball, I lettered in high school football. I played linebacker and running back, and I was on special teams too. And boy, that was a blast. I love doing that stuff. I've been good experience horseback riding, Western style in the wilderness. We've been out on pack trips for extended periods of time on horseback trips. I've got stories to tell about that. I did gymnastics in high school. That was fun. We had an auto shop in my high school, so that was a great experience, being able to, take cars apart, do mechanical things, get all dirty, and use all the tools in there and put the cars up, change the oil, change the tires, change the battery. We were even working on pulling an engine out and redoing the engine. So that was really cool. Let's see. I've done mountain climbing, backpacking, rappelling off of cliffs, and climbing up cliffs on ropes, on belay. Tremendous experience doing that. I've loved the ocean. I'm a scuba diver. I'm got open water, advanced open water done, and boy, that was an experience. I could tell you some stories about that, and ocean fishing too, out in the San Francisco Bay with my dad. We'd go out, get up before the sun, wait around till the sun came up, because the boats can't leave before sunrise, and we head out underneath the Golden Gate and go fish for great big striped sea bass. And what a thrill. I never caught any, but I got to share some of the amazing catch that was brought in. Skydiving, I've done some of that. When I was in college, we did some. I had some buddies that were into it, and they took us out to Wasco, and we jumped. And I got some stories to tell about skydiving at night. What a thrill! We had to, on the drop zone. We lined up all the cars around the drop zone, and everybody turned their headlights on so we could see it from the airplane 3,000 feet in the air. Wow! And we were jumping out in the dark. Woo! Wow, that was fun. Let's see. I've been flying. I've flown airplanes. I've got over 500 operations, touch and goes, takeoffs and landings on my logbook. So I've done some of that. Got some stories to tell about flying. And then water skiing. Love to water ski. Done slalom skiing, single ski. Broke my eardrum once, popped it, and that was a mess, but it was fun doing it. And we got some stories about that. And let's see, did I mention snow skiing? Yes, I've done a lot of snow skiing. I started snow skiing when I was 9, just 9 years old. And I loved it. I fell in love with snow skiing at 9. And I would ask my mom, could I do some work around the house so I could earn enough money to go skiing? And a lot of the friends of mine where I lived would go up to the mountains, up to Lake Tahoe every weekend. So I just hitch a ride. So I'd ask my mom if I could do something. She said, yeah, you can clean the house. So I used to clean the house. I'd do 3 hours a week. She'd pay me $3 an hour, which was like double the going rate at the time. This is a while back. And I'd make enough money to pay for my skiing. I'd rent skis, and then the lift tickets at Heavenly Valley back then were $9 a day. So over a month's period of time, I could make enough money to go on a ski trip. So I'd make enough money, go down and rent the skis, and get a ride up to the hill, have family take me up there. It was some friends. It was great. We'd learn how to snow ski, and I did all that. So tons of fun. I ended up learning at 42. I started snowboarding too, so I could do skiing and snowboarding, and been all over the Western United States doing that, from some down here in Southern California at Big Bear and a Snow Summit up to Lake Tahoe, Incline Squaw, Alpine, Heavenly, all of them. I've skied all the big ones, Sugar Bowl, all those amazing places. I haven't loved going down the Double Diamond steeper runs in powder packed. Moguls, love to do moguls. I was doing moguls with my snowboard. People look at me like, huh? But yeah, it's fun. And then let's see, I mentioned skydiving, surfing, done a little of that, got some pretty cool stories about surfing. And sand surfing before snowboarding was cool. Up in San Luis Obispo when I was in college, we were doing sand surfing on old water skis down the dunes there. And that was a blast. Just remembering all this stuff. It's been so many years, but now that I'm writing my book, I've got a reason to dredge these memories up and all the fun that I've had. It's really cool to be able to go back and kind of re-experience all that. Hello, Dennis from China. How are you? Dennis is a speaker. I met Dennis in Texas, and he did a speech that hit me right in my heart and soul about finding your little boy. And I love that, Dennis. You're helping me to rediscover my little boy again. And thank you for that. It was really cool. So snowboarding, and I want to say hi to Dennis. And let's see, I've got other interests. Because I've flown, I've done a lot of study on weather and different weather conditions and how to read pilot weather reports. So whenever I travel somewhere, like I went to Chicago a couple of weeks ago, and there was a big storm, and everybody was saying, don't go because the weather's going to be so bad, and they're going to close the airports, and it's going to be horrible and terrible, and you're going to die. So I was like, okay. So I took a look at the pilot weather reports and saw that, exactly what the airlines were doing and why, and what the airport was doing and why, and the timing. And because pilot weather reports are usually a lot better than what you see on TV. So I went. I had a blast and had no problem at all. The plane flew. It was on time, and everything worked out great. So knowing something about the weather can be an advantage. I've learned a lot about chemistry, biology, physics, all the sciences. When I was in college, I was an engineering major, so I got exposed to some really cool learning platforms with those things, and it's got me into all kinds of interesting things like space, planets, time. Um, Give me enough background so I can understand a lot of that. Enough to be dangerous, but let's see. Oh, see you later, Dennis. Have a good lunch. Yeah, Jimmy, my inner boy's name. Absolutely. Thanks for chiming in, Dennis. I appreciate it. I got to pay more attention to this. I'm kind of new to this, so I apologize if I'm not paying attention to you, but I'm getting there. It's fun. So let's see. Interconnectedness of the mind. These are things that I've been studying. Interconnectedness of the mind, body, the internal spirit, community, and the universe. Big things like that. And learning, people write about that stuff. It's crazy, but it's really interesting to me to learn about it and be able to apply it in my life. And emotions. I grew up without much emotions. I have them, I know, and they're uncomfortable sometimes to really feel. But I've learned a lot about emotions and the body, and that emotions are the language of the body, and that learning to communicate with my body, it helps to understand the language of emotion. And so I've been learning a lot about that, and we'll talk about that on the show. And if you are an expert there, or you know anything about that, love to have you chime in, say hi, tell us some stories, what you know. Love it. The English language. I've been speaking English all my life, and I'm still learning the English language. But it enables what I know about learning a language is that it enables your conscious mind to communicate with itself. Sounds kind of weird, sounds pretty heavy, but it's actually a pathway to your subconscious. And I'm learning that the subconscious mind controls a majority of our brain power. What goes on inside your head is subconscious. And understanding how to communicate with that and change it is tantamount to being successful in your life. And being able to adjust things kind of on the fly and over time can make a huge difference in your success and the way you live your life and how much you enjoy it. So English language and learning how to communicate with your subconscious mind through that language is a topic that we can talk about. Energy, huge energy, production of energy inside your body. I'm talking about energy inside your body. I 4 years ago had some health issues, and I've had to really dig down deep and understand what it is that is causing the health issues. And part of that journey, I've discovered so much about how my body works, and producing energy is a huge factor in success of how you do every day, how you show up, and having the energy to be at your best and be at your peak for, every day for as long as you want to be is a blessing. And understanding energy and how it's produced in your body and the effects that food and your stress levels and your exercise and how you think about things make a huge difference in how much energy you can actually produce and how much actually shows up when you want it to. And so So looking at energy in terms of production and the pathways and the forms of it, and the cycles that it goes through to be created and dissipated and used, the opportunities that we have to create energy and use it, sources of energy, how those sources of energy relate to our health, um, and all these things I've been learning about and would love to talk about here. These are things that in this phase of my life, I'm very excited to have the ability to learn and grow. And understanding these kind of topics has helped me to blossom again and really set the stage for my next journey here in my 60s and 70s and 80s, and who knows how far it's going to go. I'm thinking 120. I think it's possible. 120 years old. Why not? So, and neurology, the study of nerves, study of brain cells. I've done a lot of study on this kind of thing, and the physical connections and disconnections that are done, and how much control we have of that actually in our mind, and we can control what Dr. Dispenza talks about. What fires together wires together. So when you have a thought about something, you're either connecting a neuron by having that thought, or if you have that thought over and over again, you're actually building that pathway stronger and bigger inside your brain. So it's a physical thing that's happening when you think. Isn't that amazing? When I learned that, I was like, oh my gosh. So, and then we also have ability when we have a thought that we don't want to think anymore, some kind of tape that's in there that's telling you to do something that's not serving you anymore. You can say, stop, stop that thought and replace it in your mind with something that you want. And in that way, you can, over time, you can change the way your brain is constructed and change your thought patterns. So you can improve the way you think. And that's right there in that last minute is a secret to changing your brain and changing your mental state, your attitude, everything. You take that little process and you can do that every day, and you'll get better and better and better every day, 1% a day. Beautiful stuff. So energy, neurology, living at a high frequency. What does that mean? Well, remember I was talking about emotions, and emotions, you can say you can rate an emotion based on its frequency. And a high frequency is something you want. That high frequencies are joy, the emotion of joy, gratitude, appreciation, love. Those are high frequency emotions. And living in those emotions all the time is a goal I have. It's an intention that I have. It's becoming my nature, so to speak, to be at those frequencies all the time. And I'm working that way. And it's helping me. It's amazing because I'm able to do things that I wasn't able to do before. The energy level goes up and everything happens better. So love to talk about that. If you know anything about that area, chime in and let's chat about it. Let's see what else we got. I've got let's see, a process of successfully experiencing adventure. I love adventure. You can see from all the stuff I've done: water skiing, snowboarding, snow skiing, scuba diving, jumping out of airplanes, flying planes, rappelling off of granite cliffs hundreds of feet in the air. Just crazy stuff. But I love it. But I always do it in a safe, sane manner so that I can live to tell the story. So what's the process of doing that? And when I actually do it, it's not scary at all. It's fun. So we can talk about that, adventures, and coming up with new adventures to take, and how to prepare yourself prepare physically and mentally and experientially, and get good at doing certain skills and mastering things, so that you can perform them real time in a strange place and be safe about it and have a great experience. That's really the goal. So I'd love to talk about that stuff here. Um, let's see. The theory of relativity and quantum. That's another one I've been studying. I told you, it's crazy. I love this stuff. And so practical applications of quantum mechanics. If you are an expert at that, let's chat. I'd love to learn more and offer what I know. And we can have some time here, maybe share some stories and help other people to gain an understanding and apply that in their lives. I'm all about applying these things in my life. I don't want to learn something and then just let it sit. I'd love to learn something and apply it, do something with it, make something happen. And that's really to me, that's what life is about. I sit here at my desk a lot, but I love to get out and about. I love to, be nose to nose and toes to toes with people and nature and life, swim in the ocean, be in the air, feel the breeze and the wet and the cold and the heat, and feel that it's visceral, it's primal, it's exciting, and I love it. So anytime you want to talk about any experiences, share stories, videos, pictures, hop on with me. And then let's see, frequency and vibration. We chatted a little bit about that, but that's a whole other thing. I believe when you look at a molecule, an atom, which is smaller than a molecule, the atom is made up of two things: a nucleus and an electron. And if you were to expand the one atom, to the size of, say, a professional baseball stadium, and you were sitting in the stands, the relative size of those two components versus the amount of space that's inside them is immense. And here's an illustration of that. The nucleus of that atom would be like, compared to if you put a Volkswagen Beetle, that car, in the center of the stadium grass, in the middle of the grass. Then you took a basketball and you put it on the topmost place you could possibly put it, at the third level, way up in the nosebleed section. And you put the basketball up there. That would be a model of an atom. And you can see the size of those two particles, the nucleus and the electron that orbits, and the amount of space that's between those two particles in space is mostly space. So if you've listened to Joe Dispenza enough at all, you know that he talks about space in space a lot. And there's energy in there. There's all kinds of vibration and energy inside that atom, and that's what we're made of. So this stuff is mostly air, mostly space, but we feel it's solid because that's what we think about. That's some of the quantum craziness that I'm learning, and it's fascinating. So making decisions, key element of success is making a decision. It's amazing to me when you make a decision, what happens? Things happen. This is not an inert thing. This is a very powerful force in our world, is making a decision, and providential energy goes to work to fulfill the intent and the nature of that decision. And so making decisions for yourself is a powerful thing to do. And having the conviction that that decision is already happened, that thing that you desire, it's already happened. You believe it, and your subconscious mind will go to work and make it so in the world. Powerful stuff, decisions. And if you want to talk about that, I'd love to. Let's see, contrast. In order for us to see things, we need contrast. We need to know the difference between high and low, the difference between big and small, the difference between good and bad. There's contrast. And so understanding and using those relative things in our world can help us to create and be successful at getting things done. Fascinating subject. Let's see, mastery of something, mastering a skill, mastering a process, mastering a tool. There's mastering a way to think. Lots of things to master in life. And I've attempted to master a few adventure things like scuba diving and snowboarding and snow skiing. I could say probably snow skiing. I would be considered a master snow skier at one point in my life. I haven't done it in a while, but at one point I was pretty good. So yeah, so it's gaining mastery of things. That's a critical element of success. And then building a beautiful life. And that's, in the end, that's what it's all about. And that could start when you're really little, building a beautiful life. Bo Eason, Boeason, has a book out. I mentioned a couple of episodes ago that you got to look him up. He's great. He's got some excellent content, and he's doing some really brilliant work helping people to make a declaration, tell their story, and get out in the world in a new and exciting way, and help other people by adding value, doing things. He's a doer. I love him because he's a doer. He was in the NFL. He's had like 4 careers that he's been amazing at. And he's got stories that he tells on how he's been able to do that in his lifetime. And he's still a young guy. I think he's younger than me. So Bo Eason, check him out. Lots of things to talk about. So thanks, Dennis, for chiming in. I appreciate your love and comments. And from China, all the way from China. This is great. It's amazing. People from all over the world can chime in with this technology. So we'll see you next time. I'm going to an event tomorrow, Saturday, in Corona, with a gentleman that I met a couple of weeks ago. He's got 9 businesses. He does real estate. He has tons of experience in business. He runs seminars, teaches people how to do business things. And so I'm excited to get to meet him tomorrow. So I'll give you a full report on when I do my next live, because it'll be after that event. So until then, we'll see you again soon. Bye.